Let me get in here. Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Glad to be here for another episode of Knicks Weekly. And we got, we got Josh in the building, Andy, Kevin. You know, so we got a few things to talk about with the Knicks. Some rumors that are out there. There's always going to be rumors out there. You know, and by the way, I do just want to remind you, we did have our debut episode of Big Brother, Little Brother. So make sure you check that out. We had 2 episodes actually, you know, and both of them were pretty good. We're actually streaming this on 3BL. That's what we're calling it, Andy, 3BL. Well, it's Big Brother, Little Brother, but it's 3BL. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm pretty sure you can figure that out. Some of the people in the chat probably can't figure out what 3BL means. They're probably looking dumbfounded. Not to diss anybody in the chat, but you know how some of those guys are. Some of those guys are a little bit. I had to explain it to Isaiah like 10 times. Every time, why 3BL? Why 3BL? What's 3BL? What's 3BL mean? You know, so, you know, hopefully everybody gets it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on with the show, talk about some New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, on 3BL, you know, sometimes we'll talk about, well, not sometimes, we'll be talking about the Nets too. And you see the logo just appeared on your screen. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get it. Let's talk some New York Knicks. Josh, Andy, Kevin, what's popping with you, man?
Hey, man, everything's everything. It started Monday, which you saw some individual workouts. It was great to see Tibbs and Woodson out there. I think I saw the guy from assistant coach from
Kenny Payne.
Yes, no, not Kenny Payne. Not Kenny Payne. Kenny Payne was today. The other one from
Johnny Bryant.
Yes, I saw him out there. He was with DSJ. So it was, I know the coaching staff, I think, was real eager to see what these guys had in the tank, what these guys what they had to work on. It was I think the coaches were really gassed to see what these guys were, you know, what these guys could do. So
yeah,
that was
yeah.
It was great to see. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
First, who said I didn't know about 3BL? Because
Okay, I can't even hear you. So you know what I mean? There you go. Can't even hear you. Nope. This man works at Verizon. He works at Verizon, but his phone never works. Right? That's how you know he got the super cheap employee plan. He got the free employee plan. You know what I'm saying? He got the free employee plan, not the one that, you know, gives him 25% off. They gave him the free one. He got the free one. He opted for the free one, which gives him service like this. Huh? Anyway, you know. I don't know what's going on with the service, but anyway. So the Knicks started, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to call them OTAs. Is that what they're calling them? OTAs? What are they calling them?
Workouts.
Just workouts. Yeah. They had some name for it. But they started them this week. And they are going to, you know, do some scrimmaging. I think the next 2 weeks they're going to finish up the individual workouts this week, and then they'll do some scrimmaging the next 2 weeks. All right, they're still not going to get a chance to actually play some real basketball, which is, you know, it would have been nice if they had a little bubble for the Delete 8, right? That would have been nice if they had a little bubble for those guys, but.
Question: you know, does that include some of the G League players as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Some of the G League players are there as well.
All right. Unlike y'all, I want to see Kenny Wooten out there. I'm sorry. I want to see. He's a stash away for us, and I know, Sim, you got to see him a little bit this past year. I want to see what if Tibbs and Woodson and Kenny Payne, if they can get something out of him. I'm really want to see him out there with those guys.
I think that they will. I think he'll be out there. I think he'd be out there. I mean, he's a two-way player. He's a two-way player. Why wouldn't he be out there?
Right, exactly.
Well, if you're watching a lot of these teams in the bubble now, a lot of them are featuring a lot of that G League talent that they had, stashed away, that has been a part of that G League team for years, and then now they're finally getting their chance to shine, in the bubble.
Right.
So I think for the Knicks moving forward, if they're preaching this player development stuff, we got to start seeing what these guys got. You know what I'm saying? We gotta start putting them out there on the floor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
what's up, Mark?
Oh, y'all talking about these G League players for the Knicks? Stop talking about them. They ain't playing for us.
How you know? How do you know?
How do you know?
I mean, you said the same. You said the same thing about Reggie Bullock.
I said I didn't like him. I said I didn't like him. I didn't say he's a G League player.
No, but you said he wasn't going to come in and do nothing.
Well, that's different from a G League player.
I mean, basically, you're saying the same thing. You just said they're not going to come in and play for us, meaning they're not going to do nothing.
Exactly.
Right? Jared Harper might play. Jared Harper might play.
Mark, take your wet blanket out of here, man.
Man, they ain't significant, man. Get out of here. Get out of here with that G League talk, man. We the only team that always talk about a G League team.
We are?
Talk about the G League team. Yeah.
So all these other teams get players from their G League team.
Toronto.
That produce, but we can't even talk about it. Because you don't think they're going to be good.
Josh, is there anybody on Denver that was from the G League? I know Will Barton was one. I'm asking Josh.
Will Barton was no G League player.
Yes, he was. Yes,
Monte
he was.
Morris, maybe Monte Morris. I think he was.
Yeah, I think Monte Morris. I think Monte Morris was a G League player.
Gary Harris probably.
No, Gary Harris was drafted, bro. Stop that.
G League players are drafted too.
Yeah.
No, but I mean he was drafted to be on the team. They didn't stash him away. Like he played right away when he got to the league.
Not all G League, but I mean you get G League players who are drafted. They're on the team, and then they go down to the G League for some games, and then blah 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 blah.
Most of them get undrafted.
How do you get undrafted? What do you mean get undrafted?
Meaning that they go after them after the draft.
Oh, I was about to say you can't draft a player and then undraft them. Okay, I get what you're saying. All right.
They call undrafted players. They haven't been drafted in the 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Players.
Never mind. You missed my point. But I get what you're saying.
But this Tony Roten, come on now.
Who's talking about Tony Roten, bro? Where's Tony Roten come from? We're not talking about Tony Roten. We're talking about two-way players. We're talking about two-way players like Jared Harper and Kenny Wooten are two-way players. Huh?
Jared Harper's a two-way player?
He is a two-way player. Jared Harper is a two-way player. Right?
Yeah.
He's a two-way player, which means he is actually on the roster for the New York Knicks. And so is Kenny Wooten.
I mean, Kenny Wooten. I'm just not
Tony Roten.
Man said Tony Roten.
Kenny Wooten, they all in the same bunch for me until proven.
Alonzo Trier too, huh? Alonzo Trier was too, huh?
Anyway.
He didn't go to the G League, though. He got undrafted, but he came into the league. He didn't go to the G League.
Right. Anyway.
He did.
Anyway.
Just the bus shop over today. What's going on, y'all?
The Knicks did team workouts, man. Team workouts. Hopefully they're gonna, prove to be worthwhile. At least for Tom Thibodeau and the crew to get a look at people,
videos. They need to stop with these promo videos. It really bothers me, man. These promo videos be so fraudulent. Stop. I see this one with Kevin Knox. I don't care about him lifting weights. I want to see him on the court. Oh my God.
I'm with you on that one. But they gotta put something out during the off season to keep you looking at the Knicks, blah 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 blah. Yeah. They gotta put something out there.
When you fake lifting 350, I hope you can move very well on the floor.
How do you fake lift 350?
I'm being sarcastic when I'm saying that. I mean, they're lifting. I just want make sure you put that energy in your lifting onto the court. Okay, that's all. Just don't start with the foolery.
Well, I mean, someone like Kevin Knox, he's got to lift.
Yeah, no, he's got to lift. He's just got to lift. But I just hope that extra confidence you're getting from pushing. I hope the confidence transfer to the floor. That's all.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, that's no doubt about it. So do I.
And I think it will. I think it will with Tibbs and Woodson. I really think.
Well, put a smile. Just seeing those two, just directing them. Like I just love seeing that.
Yeah.
Now you're excited about everything that you just was complaining about. Oh, I don't want to see all these pictures and
Well, no. Well, it comes down to the players. Hold on, Josh. Number one, I wanted Tibbs here. I'm talking about from the player standpoint. I'm not worried about the two coaches that we signed. That's different. They showed and proved themselves. I'm talking about our players, and I'm just talking about just where the trend is with these videos, man. It annoys me. It just annoys me. It just annoys me.
To me, I think like going along with what you said and then what Sim said about them needing to put something out there, like the PR thing. I think that's the reason why they put that stuff out there. But
what they need to do? You know what they need to do? Just like how you have some other teams. Show the practices. The Knicks never show practice because they treat their organization like a private institution.
Well, they're not gonna.
That's what they need to do. No, but that's what they need to do on their like MSG channel because other teams do that for their teams.
Wait. You said they don't show practices? Is that what you just?
They don't show practices. No, the Knicks do not show practices. No, they do not.
I've seen their practices. What are you talking about,
Kevin? They do not show their practices.
Mark, I've seen their practices. I may not have seen them all, but I've seen them.
The one open practice before.
They do open practice, but
I've seen practices before.
In the beginning of the season, if you go to NBA TV, they have every team doing.
Yeah, that's an hour special.
Doing a thing, and you get to see them practice this and that. That's about it.
No, I'm talking about their own stage, like their own like television station.
I know,
for teams.
They do MSG.
But bro, even if you show the practices, you're not going to see anything. They're not going to give away everything that they're doing. They're not going to show the entire practice and show every little scheme that they're working on.
Even on their website,
you're just going to watch the guys run up and down the floor.
Even on their website, they'll show a couple of things.
You're just gonna see him running up and down the floor. You're gonna see the same thing that you see in these workout videos. You're gonna see him, the trainer throwing the ball to him while they're knocking down threes or shooting free throws. You don't see that. What do you want to see from their practice?
The players working hard.
I want to see people drilled. Pause.
Good one, Josh.
Drilled. Pause.
No, I just think that people are saying Leon Rose and they had the Knicks are having a good offseason. To me, you can't really make that judgment yet until we start making some player transactions. No matter who the coach is, who the player development guys is, and all this stuff.
Maybe from an office standpoint, they had
office standpoint they did. All the guys that they right. All the guys they named.
He couldn't relate that to any of these players. He could relate to the office. Yeah. You just saying that we had a good. No, you can't say that about the players.
Yeah, but my thing is like we've hired these coaches and we made all these great coaching hires and front office hires before, and in the past 20 years, we haven't been able to do anything.
This is a different field.
But how do we know? We don't really know.
How do we know?
Okay, so I'm gonna jump on Josh's. I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon with Josh, though, because every time we make a hire.
Go ahead, Sim.
This one feels different. This one feels like it's the real thing. This one seems like it's gonna work. Every single time we make a hire is the same way.
The reason why I say that.
So go ahead, Kev. Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because of the cachet that these guys are bringing with them, their reputation. We know that Perry. We've seen what Perrin, not Perry, Perrin, Perrin. Am I right, Andy?
Yes.
No, you're wrong.
Okay. Perrin, we've seen what he did with his drafts. We have him now. We've seen what this capologist does. We have him now. We've seen. We know what Tibbs is. We definitely know what Woodson is. Yes. We know what Bryant was.
What about Scott Perry? Because when we hired him, everybody was like, "Oh, that's
listen, Josh."
Hold it, Mark. Mark, don't say a word. I'll answer.
When you bring that name up, man, I'm already having a bad day.
All right,
Scott Perry.
The only draft pick that he really got it right on was Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, that was it. I would throw Alonzo Trier in there, but I believe something had to have happened for him too.
Yeah, but we're talking about prior. We're talking about like right after they get hired, like when they first get hired.
Well, before
You know,
that,
everyone was talking about he was
okay,
respected
okay.
and all this
yes,
cachet.
yes,
You know,
yes. Yeah, and he won a ring with Detroit.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, but he did draft. Who did he draft? And at Sacramento, he drafted Darren Fox. All right.
No, I heard he
Yeah,
wasn't.
he did. Yeah, he did.
No. I heard he
Yeah,
was
he
not
did.
like he was not like
Yeah.
part of like making that decision. Like
What are you talking about? What?
Oh God.
Kevin,
How-
but you
what-
gotta realize that
what do
whoever
you
we
mean he
hired
wasn't-
in the front office.
Explain it to him, Andy, because I
Go
just
ahead,
don't
Andy.
wanna go
What were you
through
saying?
this.
No, I was gonna say that whoever we hire to the front office, GM, coach, or whatever, it's still a team thing. And I'm not talking about the players. I'm talking about even the office, right? The guys that making the decision to pick the guy for the draft. It's a team effort from the scouts, from the only they blame it only, they put it on the GM, right? Because he's the guy
He's
that's
the
gonna call
face,
the
like
NBA,
the
the face
president.
that's gonna put in the name in the envelope, right?
So he's
But
gonna be
it's a
held
team
accountable.
effort. If you have 6 scouts, they all chime in on it, sit on it one
Right.
evening and another evening, go
Right.
through the prospects and make a decision.
Right.
And,
Would you say-
we put only it on one guy because he's the guy that's gonna tell the name to the NBA. That's why you put it on Scott Perry, for example, or something like that. I don't believe Scott Perry. He probably saw a few games of the Iron Facts and stuff like that.
Who didn't?
Yeah, exactly. But he wasn't that, okay, I'm going to pick
Can't-
this and this guy,
Yeah.
whatever you scouts say. So that's not going to happen.
I feel as though this is going back even to Phil Jackson. I think between Phil Jackson, Steve Mills, when Phil Jackson was the president and Steve Mills was the general manager, to when Steve Mills was the president and Scott Perry was the general manager, I think there was a disconnect between all.
Yeah, they took whiffs
three
on
of
those
those
picks. Him and Frank,
Yeah,
those
were-
are whiff picks. Those are like, I'm picking out the hat. They took it. That's what they did. That's what they
Same
did.
with KP. Same with KP.
Yeah,
That was.
yes, it was. Yeah.
I
They
just think
took it.
that I just think all three, both management teams were on different pages.
Yeah, that's
And now,
what that was.
and now I think this is my belief. This is my belief. Again, with hearing everything that we've heard from these guys from different organizations, I think that we might have. We got World Wide West too. That's another name that we got to throw out there.
Yeah, he's a snake. He's a snake.
Exactly. So we have the snake on our team now. We have the snake in our organization. Okay. So that's the reason why I'm saying, that's why I feel, Sim, that this is different than
He's
what
one
we
of those
had
dudes.
before.
He reminds me one of those dudes that's gonna force them way into a
I
party.
hope that is, obviously we hope that is different. Well,
Right. But like
We'll
you,
see,
but
but-
like Andy says, it's going to matter what players we get and how
Yeah,
quickly
I'm not
those
putting my-
powers
I'm not-
can mesh.
I'm not
Josh,
putting
what were you going to
myself
say?
in that-
What were you
that
going to say,
emotional
Josh?
pot.
So I agree with you. I agree with you, what you said. I think the only constant that in these past 18, 20 years, the only constant that's been there in the organization is Steve Mills. He was in the same picture with Isaiah Thomas when Isaiah Thomas was hired, that press conference
Yeah.
picture
Yeah.
with Dolan.
Right.
Phil Jackson, he was there for that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Larry Brown, he was there for that one.
Yeah.
Steve Mills was in all these pictures, and he doesn't. He finally worked his way up the ladder to somehow maneuver his way
And now
Because he's a
to be in Jim
minion.
Dolan's good graces
yeah, and
to
now
take
he's
over
out.
the president of
And now
basketball
he's
operations,
out.
and he's
Yeah.
gone. Right.
Now he's
well,
gone.
we'll see. We'll see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, sometimes, and I hate to say this, I really do,
We'll say
but sometimes it could just be the luck of the organization. And the Clippers are a prime example.
As in what
Right.
way? What you mean?
The Clippers
Oh,
are a
wait,
prime
I don't-
example, right?
I don't get the
Because
comparison.
I'm about to tell you the comparison right now.
Okay.
Sometimes it could just be the luck of the organization. The Clippers put together what was supposed to be a championship squad. They had never, ever, ever been to the Western Conference Finals. They're up 3-1, right? Multiple closeout games, they're up 19 points, 16 points. They still don't make it to the Western Conference Finals. They've been in the league for 60 years and have never made it to the Western Conference Finals. Maybe it's just the luck of that organization. Maybe that
You know what it is
organization
too,
just has a
bro?
bad luck cloud, a black cloud following them wherever they go, and hopefully the Knicks aren't like that too.
I don't
Hold
think
on,
it's
whoa. We have the black cat running on that floor. So We are just as sad as the Clippers.
I'm not. I'm not.
That's
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying we're not as sad as the Clippers. What I'm saying is maybe an organization, any organization, just has this black cloud following them for something they did in the past, and maybe the Knicks are one of those organizations. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I still put it on. You know, we traded Patrick Ewing. You ain't supposed to trade a player like Patrick Ewing, and I still blame it on that.
Yeah, but that's not a black cat.
And we weren't supposed to trade for Carmelo Anthony either, right?
Well, no, we were supposed to wait for free agency for him to come over.
Well, we were supposed to wait for him,
to get him.
But the black cat that owns the building, he puts a trade on it.
And that's the thing with the Knicks. That's not luck.
Okay,
that's not a luck thing.
So now
organization just run poorly.
Now I'm going to counter with this. So we're talking about the Clippers. They were under Donald Sterling for so long, and now that he gets voted out, and now who's this? Who's
Ballmer, Microsoft.
Ballmer.
So now, are you saying? Oh, there's Big Ron. Are you saying that that your luck can't change, that your fate can't change?
Well,
I mean, I'm just, you know, I'm just talking stuff. I'm just talking stuff.
I don't think with the Clippers it was a luck thing. I just think that they choked and they got out coached.
I mean, but listen, but that's what happens. That's what happens when
younger
teams.
Players.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
has the edge, man.
I get it, but I'm just saying, right? You know, just speaking. I don't know what the word I want to use. Just talking junk, basically. Mm-hmm. But when a team has a bad luck charm around them, something always gets in the way of them getting the success. They can get every single best player in the world, and then every single one of them go down with a knee injury. Like, that's what happens with some teams. It just happens like that sometimes. Hopefully we're not one of those teams. I don't know.
Our team.
The Clippers are going to be contending. The Clippers are going to be contending for the next 5 years as long as they got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George in their team.
We'll see.
They're in good shape.
You're missing the point. 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 The point is the Clippers have always had bad luck ever since they've been in the league.
Yeah,
and they do everything that they can do.
They get
everything that they can
time.
do to put the best team together possible, and they still end up with bad luck. That's the point. I know everything that they did wrong and everything that the Nuggets did right. You know what I'm saying? And we'll talk about some of this later on. All I'm saying is, you know,
talk about that again.
Maybe that bad luck follows you around. Let's talk about RJ Barrett, man. Let's talk about RJ Barrett.
Don't get me started, man.
We're gonna talk about it, man. Because I know you guys. I know that you've seen. Let me read it out. I know you guys seen the NBA All Rookie first and second teams, but we're gonna do it anyway.
He didn't deserve it.
All right, we're gonna do it anyway.
Oh, come on.
Hold up.
Why be tripping, man?
Hold up. We'll get into it. You got the NBA All Rookie first team. You got Brandon Clark for the Memphis Grizzlies, John Morant for the Memphis Grizzlies, Kendrick Nunn, Eric Pascal. You got Zion for the New Orleans Pelicans. If Zion was going to be on there, it didn't matter.
Yeah,
Zion could have never touched. He could have never.
So.
He could have never touched the floor, and he was going to be on there.
That was the NBA. That was the NBA commissioner putting his hat into that, man.
He was going to be on there. How many games did Zion play? How many games did Zion play?
Going to be on that team the next
19
year.
games, Sim.
He played 19 games this season.
His numbers is crazy though.
I mean, but you know, I don't know I don't know if they have a number to say, you know, you've got to play a certain number of games to be on the all rookie team. I don't know. But anyway, let's go to the second team. Second team, all rookie, the NBA all rookie second team. You got Terrence Davis II, Rui Hachimura. He's good. That dude is good. He's good. He's good. You got Tyler Hero, PJ Washington Jr., and you got Kobe White. And you got Kobe White.
Kobe White.
Kobe White was good. If you watch,
he
was good. That coach didn't know what to do with him. Hold up. Let me. One more thing. I'm gonna go through the NBA All Rookie Team voting results, and then we can get into the conversation. All right. John Morant, he received 100 first team votes, 200 votes altogether. You already knew that. Rookie of the year. Kendrick Nunn.
Kendrick Nunn, he received 98 first-team votes. Brandon Clark, he received 92 first-team votes.
He was good that year too.
Zion Williamson, 87. Eric Pascal, 28. Tyler Hero, he was on the second team. He received 23 first-team votes and 69 second-team votes.
Honestly.
Terrence Davis received 30 first-team votes and 36 second-team votes. Kobe White, 8 first-team, 74 second-team. P.J. Washington Jr. Received 8 first-team, 72 second-team. And Rui Hachimura received 10 first-team votes and 54 second-team votes. Noticeably, our boy, RJ Barrett.
How many votes he got?
Is not on the list.
Let me guess, 6.
Just the one below the second team.
All right.
What I saw.
Now, RJ Barrett, he received 10 first-team votes, 10 votes for the first team, and he received 41 votes for the second team for 61 points.
Oh, so he was on the cusp.
So Rui Hachimura
He was
beat
better
him
than
out
him.
by 13 points. Total points. Beat him out by 13 total points.
Because when you watch that kid got the package, man. That kid could play.
So
Knicks fan? Are you a Knicks fan? I mean, really?
I'm just giving you facts.
So there you go. So there you go.
Really?
You're too biased, bro.
So tell me
I'm
me
just
how
being
you
facts.
feel about Kev, I'm gonna start with you. How you feel about RJ Barrett?
Look at him. He ready.
Talk to me, brother. How you feel about it?
It was BS, and then that's out of respect to the channel because I'm not going to use any curse words or anything, but it was total BS. I'm not advocating that he should have been first team because of the record we had. I wouldn't put him there as a first, but the second team, he darn should have been there.
He was on the cusp.
There. Yeah, but he should have made the cusp. He should have been on the cusp. He should have made the cusp. All right. But compared to some of those guys that are on that second team, he should have made the cusp.
Okay, Andy, what do you think, Andy?
I'm fine with the results for 2 reasons.
Whatever.
One, he was really close, and that doesn't bother me. And 2 is that he's gonna have motivation for the next season.
Good.
Is he gonna win most improved?
I'm happy with this.
Do you see him winning? Do you see him winning most improved next year?
If the Knicks make it to the playoffs, yeah.
Yeah.
If he can shoot free throws.
Yeah, exactly.
He can shoot free throws. It was the 3 points that he couldn't really,
He can shoot free throws.
Kevin, if he's gonna
shoot free throws, man, you better
have the
stop.
most improved, bro.
That boy can't shoot free throws, man.
You can't shoot 3 throws?
Okay. All right, hold on. Let me get around everybody. Mark,
All right, I'll get to you
how
later,
you feel
Ron.
about it?
Like I said, it's just from the production of those other players that was in front of him. They was in better situations. They was productive
by the team.
Yeah, they was productive on winning teams, and it all has to do with shooting percentages and all that stuff.
Washington was
Exactly.
winning team. Okay.
You see,
And then when
they weren't. Washington was not a winning team. They didn't have a
wasn't a
winning
winning
record.
team.
Exactly. Okay. Then so
But
Mark said
but-
winning teams and everything, they weren't winning. So why is
But if you don't
Chamara,
know-
whatever his
but hold
name is,
on,
why is he on there?
It's more of their recent history with
His
Washington.
production was.
They
If you
were
watch Rui, he looks better than RJ throughout the season, bro. If you watch him, he just looks better than RJ.
Wow. Okay.
So in that case, he was on the cusp. It's not like it was a landslide where he got like 3 votes. He was right behind Rui, but Rui played better than him. And for anybody to say that Rui did not play better than RJ,
Rui
you have to watch
Hachimura.
him.
Rui, 13.5 points per game, 6 rebounds, shot 46% from the field, 28.7% from 3.
He's not
What's
a
his free
Close
throw
to the
percentage?
same. Huh?
What's his free throw percentage?
Free throw
Sam?
percentage, 82.9%.
What's RJ's?
RJ's free throw
70s, right?
percentage is like 67%, something like
There
that.
you go.
even worse.
There you go.
Sim,
Alright.
Sim, one
Like I said,
more important thing, bro. We gotta take notice who voted for these guys. It was the
Exactly.
media, right?
Oh, of course, the
Yeah.
media.
Oh,
Yeah, the
yeah,
media.
You already
Yeah.
know how that goes.
Here we go.
Exactly.
Let's be
You know how it goes.
Exactly.
The
Exactly.
next word,
Knicks for clicks. Knicks for
You
clicks.
know,
That's
you
all it
know,
is.
you know how it
Knicks for
goes,
clicks,
man.
Knicks for clicks. Knicks for clicks.
Like I
That's all
said,
it is.
Kevin, he just played a little better than RJ, and it's okay. That's going to make him work harder, and that's good.
Did
And it's not like
did
it's not
Jamar
like-
did Jamar win the
Okay,
game for?
so let me ask you this, Ron. Let me ask you guys this.
Huh?
Kobe
Yeah.
White, Chicago Bulls team is terrible. right?
Yeah, that team was terrible.
13.2 points per game, 3.5 rebounds per game, 2.7 assists per game. He shot 39.4% from the field.
Jesus Christ.
Same numbers as RJ Barrett.
And we had a better record than them too.
What's his
We had a
3-point
better
percentage?
record.
And
He
free
was
throw.
picked lower
He shot
than RJ.
35% from three. I think RJ Barrett's like 32% from
What's
three.
his free throw percentage?
79%.
Mm.
I mean, come on.
Sim,
Come on.
Sim, but you gotta know this also.
Come on now.
Big factor.
Come on
We
now.
know
That's,
it is.
Thank you, Ron.
Sim,
Thank you.
Andy trying to say something. Andy trying to
Yo,
say something.
Sim,
Go ahead, Andy.
Sim, you
Go
gotta
ahead, Andy.
notice that the number that they were drafted for, you know, like the pick factor.
the pick
RJ
factor.
was third.
True.
So
And he is
Okay.
a third
expectations
pick,
for
bro.
him were really
That's
high.
another thing. Good point, Andy.
Yep.
So
He's a third
you know
pick.
that's awesome thing. So and
Good
Rui
point.
was what, the 8 or even 13, right?
Stan,
Whoever.
did the Chicago
so-
or the Knicks have better records than us?
Okay, so
Chicago was
We had a better
Chicago.
record than Chicago.
No, we didn't.
So
Chicago was 20.
They had a better record.
Hold up. One at a time. Chicago was 22-43. We were 21-45.
Exactly.
Well,
Basically,
there you go.
Ain't that, man?
There you go.
Hey.
That's a different
I guess that's the tiebreaker. One game.
Yeah, 1.5
I thought-
game.
Yeah, I guess that's the tiebreaker.
Just like how we was we was
Damn,
number 6 and we
Fizdale.
jumped to 2 in
Damn,
the 8th
Fizdale.
spot. Listen, man.
I mean,
until this team get
I think
better,
a-
the Knicks treated like this. So get with it, or we're just gonna keep complaining about it.
Hey, fellas, let's just be real. RJ would have been one of those guys picked if he had a better coach from the beginning.
Hey,
That goes without saying.
Oh boy.
And
It
removing
goes back to
Julius
coach.
Randle.
It goes back to the coach. I know you're not defending David Fizdale. I know better than that.
Oh yeah,
I-
he is. He is.
If you defending
Should've
David
been on the
Fizdale,
last
you need to
one.
stop talking
Listen,
basketball.
man. As I said before,
Ron, he was Josh
Hold on.
was defending him.
Hold up,
Big time.
Kev. Go ahead, Mark.
as I said, September 10th before the press conference, it was so much politics. Yo, the whole organization we just blamed it on that whole organization, from the team built, the fit, to the coach, to the president, to the G. It was just all in one, man. That's how I looked at it, man. It was all in one. It was just
Hey,
all
Mark.
in one.
Mark, my thing is this my thing
I
on
just
this.
can't put that on fully Fizdale, man.
Hey.
It's like you
want
bring in.
Hey,
Hold on.
Hey, Kev, I want to get at
Yeah,
him.
but hold on.
Let him
Hold
think
on.
about this.
When
Go
you
ahead, Mark.
bring
I'm
in a
going to say
play-
something to you.
When
Get
you
your
bring in
attention.
a player, right? When you bring in a player and you're trying to establish a player onto a team, especially full of young guys, and you could just see it in gameplay from game to game to game to game to game, just with the chemistry. When you're trying to implement Julius Randle as this type of player, that's where you went wrong, because he should have never been that. So it just ruined the whole chemistry throughout the year. We became grunted because we start to see these things go on each and every game. It's gonna be hard for a coach to coach a player that he probably didn't see to be that type of player, but because he got GMs and the president is there, make sure Julius Randle's on the floor when the fourth quarter comes, even if he's doing bad on the floor.
I disagree with you, because Mark, you weren't here. We looked at the usage rate numbers and all of that. RJ, no.
Go ahead, Sid.
I don't even want to hear it. RJ Barrett, especially in the second half of the season when Marcus Morris was gone, RJ Barrett had the ball in his hands at a higher. Hold up. Calm down.
Mark, you
RJ
proving
Barrett
the
had the
point.
ball in his hands. We looked at the numbers. RJ Barrett had the ball in his hands.
Okay, but that's different from the beginning,
Mark.
to the end. Everything
Mark,
has
you
to-
proving the point. You proving the point is back to coaching. Hold on, Mark. Hold on.
Yeah, go
Let's
ahead.
just be real. When those players got signed, you honestly believe that the front office just went in and said, "Hey, we getting this guy, and throw him on Fizdale without Fizdale signing off"? Honestly, come
No,
on.
they didn't have a
Yes-
choice.
yes
No,
or
no.
question.
They didn't have a choice.
Don't tell me
You don't
that
think Fizdale signed off on them guys
Tell me
coming?
that Fizdale had a pick in what the roster was. Do not
Hey.
tell me that.
Hey, you
No.
don't think
Coach
Fizdale signed off on it?
Exactly.
Hey, let me tell you how I know Fizdale signed off on it. You know what he said when we got those players? He said finally he got some players that he can coach.
Okay, so
Finally he got some players that he can out his own mouth.
I disagree with that.
Listen.
disagree with that.
That's what Fizdale
He's
said.
not
Once
gonna
you want to
drop
disagree,
that
that's what
Okay,
Fizdale said.
number one,
Ron, drop that
Disagree with Fizdale.
number one, he's not going to tell millions of fans that, yo, I didn't want these players on my team.
Yeah, why would he make a riff with his
He's not going to say that, number one.
Why would he do that?
And
But, hey, Ain't no front office bringing players in that the coach ain't gonna sign off on the coach.
Wait.
I'm sorry,
People
man.
Oh, one at a time. Hold up. One at a time. One at a time.
We opened up cap space for 2 stars. They knew that he wasn't getting on them. So when they went after all these players, they just threw money at these guys. That's what it was. That's what it was.
All right.
These guys wasn't on their mind from the beginning of free agency.
Mark.
Yeah,
Mark,
but what Ron is saying is that Fizdale, once they found out what players he was getting, he was with it. He could have told. He could have told Perry and.
Okay. All right. Let me stop right here. Let me stop right here for a second, right? Because listen, I do think that.
I'm just saying from a chemistry standpoint.
I do think that one, RJ Barrett had the ball in his hands a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Second half. I'm speaking from the beginning.
Calm down. Relax. Yo, bro, chill out. Listen, RJ Barrett had a usage rate of 23 point whatever %, and that is including the first and second half. Second on the team. He shot the ball 13 times a game. The only person above him was Julius Randle at 15 times per game.
And what was his play like? Was there chemistry with him on the floor?
Hey, chill out. No, because everyone wants to, keep taking anything away from RJ Barrett having fault and him not.
I did not say that.
Listen, stop talking or I'm gonna have to mute you. Gee, let me finish. Right? Let's not take it away from RJ Barrett because he had his times to shoot the ball. He had his time to control the floor. His usage rate was second on the team. Right? As a matter of fact, his assist compared to the amount of times that he had the ball and the amount of assists and passes that he made was actually less than Julius Randle if you want to put everything on Julius Randle. Right? You can go look at Basketball Reference right now and you'll see the amount of times that he passed when he had the ball in his hands was less than Julius Randle. So RJ Barrett he's got to take responsibility for what his numbers are. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
no. Hold up. We're gonna let someone else talk after this. We're gonna let somebody else talk after this. RJ Barrett's got to take responsibility for shooting 40% from the field. RJ Barrett's got to take responsibility for shooting 67% from the free throw line. RJ Barrett's got to take responsibility for shooting 32% from 3. If those numbers were higher, and I'm not saying he's a bad player, but imagine if those numbers were just a little bit higher. Imagine if he shot 44% from the field, 45% from the field, 35% from 3, and 75% from the free throw line. He'd average 18 points per game, 19 points per game.
Yeah.
And he'd be
You're
different.
Speaking about a rookie from a vet.
Listen to me, because other rookies shot that. Other rookies that came in the league at the same time as RJ Barrett had those same shooting percentages and took the same number of shots as RJ Barrett. Other rookies took 13 shots per game. Other rookies had the same usage rate as RJ Barrett. Right? RJ Barrett has the kind of personality where he's going to look at it and say, I know I can do better. It's going to motivate him to do better. Right? But we don't do him no favors by trying to make everybody else the scapegoat for these things, but except for RJ Barrett. Let him take it. He's going to get better. He's going to be better than half of these players on the list.
Yeah,
he's going to be better than half those players on the list.
Yeah, I wasn't making an excuse for him, from the numbers he got.
I wasn't trying to make an excuse for him.
And he's going to, I know he's going, because the way he talks, the way he carries himself, I know he's going to be better. His work.
Switch the whole conversation, bro.
What are you talking about?
No, not you.
Yeah, the narrative
chemistry standpoint.
The narrative did change because we were talking about if he had a better coach.
I get that. I get that.
The whole thing. I'm talking about from a chemistry standpoint.
I understand that. But what I'm saying, even from a chemistry standpoint, he still took 13 shots a game. And he can still make half of those shots.
He's still responsible for shooting free throws.
He's still, I mean, what's the chemistry got to do with him shooting 67% from the line?
You're right.
That's what I'm saying.
I give you that. What they say, players control what they can control.
Exactly.
Coaches control what they can.
Like
when you're wide open from three, and you miss it, that is on you. You know what I'm saying?
I said, when you bring players on to have them on a team with no chemistry at all,
I get that. I get that.
Forget that.
But I said I get that. I said I get that. I said I get that. I get that. What I'm saying is there are things that a player is responsible for that could have changed the entire outlook.
Yeah.
Mark,
That could have changed the entire outlook.
I see what Mark going at. It was just really this year really was a perfect storm for everything to go wrong with us, man.
You know what? But look, you're right. And these are RJ Barrett's numbers, though, compared to other rookies and where he rated amongst rookies. Right, his total point scores, he was 5th. Points per game was 3rd. Total assists was 5th. Total rebounds was 4th. This is amongst other rookies. Rebounds per game was 4th. Total steals, he was 4th. Steals per game, he was 4th. RJ Barrett is one of only 4 rookies in the NBA to average at least 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists and 1 steal. The only other teenagers to do it were LeBron, Carmelo, and Luka.
So I'm just saying, before September 10th, there was no direction.
You know
there was no direction.
Yeah, you're right. That's what it
there was none.
The direction was terrible. And,
I'm not saying RJ is not to blame. I'm just talking about from a team building standpoint and from a chemistry standpoint. That's what a rookie's going to look like on the floor, because you put all these pieces that do not fit with this guy. So his game is going to come out of whack, and there's no type of leadership on that floor.
Well, I'm going to say this. But see, the reason why I disagree with you, this is the reason why I disagree. Because you've seen players come into the league on teams that were in shambles, and because they're nice, regardless who's on the team, stars or not, stars, no stars. Guys who want to be stars, guys who they expect could be a star, a rookie come in and take over that mug.
Ja Morant.
Right? And take over that joint. Hold up.
Yeah,
chill.
you're right.
And a rookie come in and take over that joint. Because like I said, if he shot 47% from the field and was averaging 18 points per game, if he shot 35% from 3 and was averaging 18 points per game, right, along with the other numbers, everything looks totally different.
But
you know what I'm saying? I believe that RJ would have came to a team that was that has everything built around him. This is me.
Memphis was built better than the Knicks, bro.
I believe that RJ would have went to a team with everything built around him, built for him to be the guy, and he would have had the same numbers. That's what I believe. I believe he would have had the same numbers because he shot. Because his shooting percentages are low.
But that comes.
You gotta work on them free throws.
Mark, let me say something real quick.
Go ahead.
All right, so first of all, he did get snubbed. Okay, I don't think there's 10 rookies in the NBA better than RJ Barrett. That's number one. Number
this
two,
year, bro. It's not about the overall. It's just this year, and a lot of those guys on that list.
Okay, let him finish, Mark. Let him finish.
So yeah, I don't think there's 10 rookies better than RJ Barrett. I do believe it was a snub. I don't think it has anything to do with coaching or Sam, I totally agree with you. Basically, RJ needs to take some of this blame because, like you said, when players come into the league, you can just see it. Some of them don't need as much development as others. Some are just naturally really good scorers. And RJ Barrett is not that. He needs more development and he needs to, more time in order to be successful. But yeah, you can't blame the coach or the front office for his free throw percentage being 67%. That's all on him. That he has to get that better. He has to work that.
He'll correct that issue.
I do think he got snubbed. He should have been at least on the second team or whatever. But
that's what I'm saying.
It's going to be motivation. It's going to be motivation for him to come because like Kev, like you said, when he talks, it's like he's ready. He's like he's doing this.
He's ready.
He takes ownership. He does.
But this team didn't have no consistency. This team didn't have no consistency after what they did, and that goes into a lot of rookie plays, bro. Like if like Ja Morant, they had a structure there, and it was like easy plugged in, but they had a structure there, so there's consistent play with that. You're gonna get consistent play when you have a consistent team around Ja Morant, which it was. When you bring RJ into this, it's not gonna be more consistent play. It's not.
Well, see, like I said, you could have put RJ on Memphis, and I think he would have had the same shooting percentages. True. I think he would have averaged 13 points. I think he would have averaged 13 points. Maybe he would have averaged more assists. He might have averaged more assists. right? Because the team overall has a better shooting percentage. So he would have. I think he would have had the same percentages.
If he played in Memphis, he'd have played a whole different. He'd have been running more compared to the Knicks when he was running half-court sets. When the kid should be running due to his playing style. If he played in Memphis in the way they play,
RJ Barrett should be running.
Style. Yes, he should have. Yes, he should be coming downhill. Anybody knows that he should be coming downhill.
I really don't know if RJ Barrett is a downhill player. I feel like RJ Barrett. I honestly feel what they drafted with RJ Barrett is a half-court player. He doesn't have a lot of speed. He doesn't have a lot of speed.
That's why he has to play downhill, bro.
Yeah, Isaiah.
That's why he has to play downhill.
You play downhill when you have speed. When you have speed, you play downhill. That's why you play downhill, because you have speed. When you don't have speed, you play a little bit more half court because you don't have speed. Right? He's not fast. He is not crazy athletic. I think he is built to play a half court game. RJ Barrett, I believe, is built to play a half court type of game.
RJ is a methodical player.
Yes, a methodical player.
Hey, Isaiah wants to say something. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Well, first of all, I just want to say that can we keep it like one person talking at a time? This isn't the other thing.
All right, go ahead, Isaiah.
Man, say what you got to say, man.
It's trying to be funny. Go ahead. It's heated in here. It's heated.
I wasn't being just to help the people because we were talking at once, so I guess so. But no, man. When it comes to RJ Barrett, being serious, I wanted us to talk one at a time. It's not.
Oh, come on, man. What you got to say?
Well, Isaiah, you got us hanging on, man.
I'm trying to hear this point that's gonna enlighten and make our brains explode.
It's so much chemistry happening right now. He's messing it up. It's too much chemistry right now. He's messing it up.
All right, Mark.
Now, go ahead, Isaiah, man. Go ahead.
But first and foremost, please watch my video of the RJ Barrett snub.
Man, come on, man. Really we don't need We don't need any shameless plugs.
Come on, Isaiah. I'm waiting on the point, man.
But what I wanted to say though with RJ, man, like you said though, Sim, is that when it comes to RJ, there's a lot of things he did control. Like you said, he was a second option on this team. He was a second option.
I think Marcus Morris was.
A lot of times. Shooting, bro, he just said the stats. What the hell?
We forgot Marcus Morris played on the team, though.
He had to get better.
Go ahead. Let him finish, Mark.
Bro, okay. No, so what happens is that, RJ has to hold accountable for, shooting 66%, only shooting 32%. Those are him. Like you said, he had the ball in his hand, and there were a lot of times when he were open. But also there were times where, he was getting frozen out of the offense. And we all know that. We all know through Elfrid Payton and Julius Randle that there were times when they didn't give him the ball.
This man want to come in and sit on the fence.
When he did shoot.
Come in and sit on the fence.
Yeah, but he has a point.
Hey, Sam, I got something to say about this whole thing, man.
But my point is, though, is like...
Oh, my God.
I dude, oh, my... Go, because y'all pissing me off tonight.
I'm waiting for your point.
Dude, man.
Let me tell you, man. This whole thing with our Knicks, man, and when I say a perfect storm... You think about how our team reverted, man. Like they didn't know whether or not they wanted to develop the youth, or we were going to go with the older guys that we brought in to go chasing after a playoff spot, because it got apparent that before this it was all about we're going to develop the young guys. We're going to develop the young guys. Heck, when the season started, Alonzo Trier didn't hardly see the court again. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And this was one of our better players the year before. So you sent this signal to. So it was just a perfect storm. And then you had a coach that was coaching these guys that we didn't have an identity of who we were going to be offensively or defensively. That's why I say it was a perfect storm. But as a player, you control what you can control. Yeah. Free throws, I've always said, if you can't shoot free throws, something is wrong. Yeah. That's the easiest thing to do. Free throws, that's the easiest thing to do. All the other stuff, all the nuances of the game, being able to pass the ball, those things are gifts. You know what I mean? But free throws, you should never have a problem shooting 67%. Man, I can shoot 6 to 7%. My daughter, my 12-year-old on the couch beside me can shoot 75%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
but see, I'm not gonna Monday morning quarterback with this one because and there's a lot of people that I can guarantee you in this chat and in this video chat that at the beginning of the season I can guarantee said, okay, I like the strategy that they used. I can guarantee it.
I'm with you.
I was one of them.
Because the strategy that they tried to do, whether or not it was executed well, the strategy I thought was a good strategy, right? They tried to bring in some vets, try to bring in some guys that were on the bubble that they thought was on the bubble of stardom, right? And try to put together a competitive team that could, try to fight for the 8th spot or something like that.
Wait, Sam, you talking about the Knicks last season, like what they did, like after the Kevin Durant offseason?
I'm talking about
They picked out the hat.
I'm talking about the strategy that they tried to use. Everyone wants the Monday morning quarterback now, right? But a lot of people that in this chat called up, maybe didn't like. Hold up, maybe didn't like this guy, but understood the strategy that they were trying to do, right? They tried to bring in some vets like Taj Gibson, right? Like Wayne Ellington. That could be some, hold up, Josh, hold up. That could be some mentors, right? Bring in some young guys like they thought, okay, we'll give Julius Randle $18 million. Maybe he takes another step forward. Right,
I ain't like that one.
People liked what they were trying to do and the ideas that they had behind it and the strategy that was behind it. It didn't work out, so everybody says that they're stupid now. But overwhelmingly, including myself, I was like, okay, I see and understand what they're trying to do. They want to try to be like a competitive team, like the Clippers were. The Clippers were competitive, right? And then because they were competitive. And they were a hard-nosed type of team, they were able to attract some bigger players to come in and take them to the next level. The Brooklyn Nets, the same way. They were a competitive team, without Kyrie, without Kevin Durant, you know what I'm saying? And they had some vets that could help get that team along, and they were able to build something. And then you got Kyrie and KD came there. Obviously,
but those teams had cohesion. Those teams had cohesion, dog.
Okay, but listen, this is what they were trying to develop. They were trying to put together a team that could, possibly be competitive, have some veteran leadership, have some guys that could maybe go to the next level. Because a strategy doesn't work out, now everybody's just like, they were stupid. But everybody wasn't on that at the end of the season, at the beginning of the season. Right? I can go back where I did a video and ask questions. Do you think Julius Randle could make it to the All-Star? Yeah, I think he could this year. I think he can do this. I think he can be a leader. I can bring the videos out of people who said, I think he can. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. I mean, it's cool. You're so right. You can change course and change your mind and say, no, now I don't because I've seen him play. I don't think so. Right? But let's not act like in the beginning of the season, we weren't looking and understanding where they were going and what they were trying to do, and still had short contracts so that they can remain flexible if they need be.
But Sam, that's my only problem with what you said is you said that they were actually trying to build something with those guys that they brought in. If that's what they were trying to do, how come they only signed them to 1 or 2 year contracts with team options and player options?
Because the reason why is because if you sign Julius Randle to 5 years and he doesn't pan out, then you're stuck with him for 5 years.
Yeah,
so instead, you prove to me that you can step to the next level. And if not, then we got to get out of this. That's the reason why.
I'm gonna tell you my thoughts, and I agree with you.
Go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
100% on this, because when I saw all the stuff getting brought in, this was my honest opinion. I said, okay, with what we got, what these players that we've had, like I expected Kevin Knox not to regress. I knew what I was gonna get from Lonzo Trier. Mitch, I said, okay, between 6 to 8 seed. That's what I was expecting out of this team. And I agree with what you said, hit 100%. Execution. It was the execution with the coaching play. That's all it was, because we saw the difference was Mike Miller took over. It was night and day for our team. The team played differently. Coaching does make a difference. You got to have a plan in place. I'm ex-military, Sim, and I'm telling you, I was infantry. Went to Somalia. If we didn't have a game plan, we're dead. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Point blank. Good coaching, man. If you don't have no coach, you're in trouble.
So my thing is,
look at the Heat. What the Heat doing right now? That team is overachieving, if you ask me. They got some good players, but they're overachieving. You telling me that team's supposed to be right now in the Eastern Conference Finals?
But they're balanced though. See,
they're overachieving though. But why? Why are they doing that? Why?
I think it's the organization.
Well, they have Jimmy Butler.
Thank you.
That's the
You're
one.
proving the point.
Yeah.
You're proving the point.
They have Jimmy Butler. They have a superstar.
And what else they got?
Superstar.
They got a championship coach, and they got a championship coach in the front office.
Right. Right. I totally understand all that. But my thing is, so the Knicks roster, even they got all these players that we're talking about right now, the Taj Gibsons, the Julius Randles. It's because they struck out on KD and Kyrie. They had no other choice. They had to get those guys.
Josh, no.
They didn't have to.
They didn't have no. See,
hold on, come on. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Real quick.
I got a question for you, Josh.
Once we struck out on, hold on, real quick. Once we struck out on KD and Kyrie, they were selling us all this stuff, this garden spin, talking about we were going to get 2 max free agents here, and then when we didn't get to land the big fish, they had to go out and sign someone. They had to go out and sign someone who would take their money.
Okay.
But no. Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
The same thing that happened with Amari Stoudemire.
That's irrelevant.
Josh,
That's irrelevant.
they didn't have
My issue is this, right? You guys act as if those players that we signed were the only players still on the market. The only player that was left on the market at the very end was Marcus Morris, because he was in the middle of a deal with San Antonio. But there were still other players that could have been signed outside of Julius Randle, who was the first one signed, outside of Elfrid Payton, Bobby Portis, and Taj Gibson. So there were other players. There were other players that could have been
They
signed.
gave Bobby Portis $15 million. Come on.
We pursued it. We pursued it. Listen. We pursued what we pursued under the same guise of being able to potentially get rid of them if they don't pan out. That was the intent. If we knew that there was a possibility to potentially strike out on 2 superstars. That's basic. That's business. You know that in business, you're not always going to get the big fish. When you cast that reel, you're not always going to get the big fish. So you got to have another plan on the backup so that you can eat. So of course they had other players that were in mind, right? So let's not act as if Bobby Portis and Taj Gibson and Elfrid Payton, and that they were the only players that were available on the market. They were
who else was available, though?
That were, listen, this is what I'm saying. They were the best players that were available that were willing to take a small contract. Because if you remember correctly, Reggie Bullock was supposed to sign for $8 million, but he had to renegotiate his contract for a lower contract. So my point is, for the amount of money that we had to spend, they were the cheapest available players that were there that were willing to take those contracts. So let's not act like there were other players in the market last year that could have been picked up. You guys are just like automatically writing them off. Now I agree with Sim when Sim is talking about everyone, there was a lot of people, and I was one of them, that had a general consensus of saying like, we might be able to do something with this team, because we were looking at the individual stats that those players had on those teams that they were on. Specifically with Bobby Portis, he made a little bit of noise in Chicago, and then when he went to Washington for that end of the season, he went off. We look at Julius Randle, he went off when AD went down, and it was him and Drew Holiday. He went off, right? Elfrid Payton was always an iffy guy, but we're aware that Perry loves Elfrid Payton because
So the issue wasn't the issue is not the players.
Let him finish. Go ahead.
So again, my point is that there were other players that could have been searched for. We chose the best players that were available with the intent on developing them alongside with the youth that we had.
Great point.
Right? We looked at and said, okay, give me a player that we can sit beside Kevin Knox that will be able to help Kevin Knox out in all the games and all the bad parts about Kevin Knox's game. That was supposed to be Marcus Morris. That everything that we want out of Kevin Knox is what Marcus Morris was doing. Kevin Knox said what? I want to be the guy that's going to shoot 45% from the 3-point line.
You telling me a guy that's
actually shooting over 45%? It was Marcus Morris who was shooting 49%.
You telling me a guy that's been a career rotation forward throughout his whole entire career, playing on those playoff teams in Boston. He's been a rotation guy coming off the bench. Is going to be the person to mentor our young star in Kevin Knox. That's what you're telling me.
You don't gotta be a star to mentor. You don't gotta be a star to mentor.
Let Nick go.
I'll answer your question, Josh. The answer is yes. If you listen to shows like All the Smoke, right, and you listen to shows like the Knuckleheads, they always ask the players that they have on there, who is your mentor? And those guys are always mention a bench player that was their mentor on that team. So just because a dude, if anything, a dude that's a starter is not going to be your mentor because he's worried about getting his. The guy that's actually doing the mentoring, the guy that's on the bench, because he understands that he has a role to play, and his role to play is mentorship. So when I talk about Marcus Morris being a mentor, you're damn right he's being a mentor to Kevin Knox, because Kevin Knox was supposed to be the next one up. Now, the same can't be said for Julius Randle, because he's the guy that was essentially given the keys to the city. The same can't be said for Elfrid Payton, because he's the guy that was in contention for the point guard position started. So again, when we all had these generalizations and we all act like that everything was supposed to be a complete fail or a complete boom or bust with this team. No, it was not set up that way. We knew that there were ideas that these big name players wasn't going to come. We knew that there was a possibility for that. That's obvious because the whole reason.
Oh man!
Go ahead, Nick.
He was ranting and raving.
Oh, he back.
Know where he was going. They didn't know exactly where he was going, but it was a Stephen A's that were saying, "Yo, KD is coming here." There was a lot of people that were like, "Oh, we don't know what he's going to be doing because KD hasn't said a damn thing." So let's not act like we knew for a fact that these guys were coming, and we were just like, "Oh, let's rush and sign for a power forward." They were the best players.
Why would the owner come out and say it?
Nick, hold on. Nick, let me get to Nick. Hey, let me get to Nick. Go ahead, Nick. And then after Nick, I'm going to get to the phone call.
Good point, Gibson.
KD was mentored by Royal Ivy. And what's the Thomas guy from who played for the Knicks too?
Kurt Thomas.
They all were mentors.
Kurt Thomas.
No, whatever Thomas anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter.
KD was a prodigy coming out of college. That's
but still,
go ahead, Nick.
You're talking mentorship. We're not talking about like a star taking another guy under his wing. Dwayne Wade never mentored. What's dude that flailed out for us? Beasley. Who else? John Morant. John Morant wasn't mentored this year by anyone else. Like, who are you talking about? Jay Crowder was mentoring John Morant this year. Let's see. What's his name? Carmelo wasn't mentoring KP. Like, that was not happening.
Carmelo did mentor him, bro. He told me.
No. He did not mentor KP.
Oh,
remember, it was the one who was in Philly now. Like, there were other guys that actually played a bigger role of taking guys under their wing. Like, who's mentoring Luka right now? No one.
Nobody.
But you talking about Kylo Quinn?
You talking about prodigies?
Kylo. Okay, well, fine. You want to? Who mentored Dame Lillard, and then also CJ McCollum?
Nobody.
No one. Who mentored LaMarcus Aldridge? No one.
Came in and took it.
It wasn't Rasheed Wallace. Like, it wasn't those guys. Come on, like, you can't make up stuff and then try to retrofit it to what will make the Knicks better. Like, that doesn't exist. And then also, Josh, like, I don't understand your idea of team building here, because it doesn't make sense. You sound like Stephen A. Smith, to be honest with you. Like, just because they went after Kyrie and KD and failed out on it, they did have a plan, but was not a well-executed or well-coached plan. Like, the idea was also, to add to Evergreen's point, is that they also had the idea, if Bobby Portis was to hit and was to shoot the same percentage that he shot the year before with Washington, he could be traded just like Marcus Morris, and we could have gotten 2 first-round picks instead. Or if Elfrid Payton was good, and let's say the Warriors needed another backup point guard that was good on defense and could run a team just like Sean Livingston, you could probably trade him to the Warriors. Like, there were options, there were ideas, there were things that they had that they could do that added up to, okay, let's go after bench players and that are tough, that are tradable assets, just like what's their name? Orlando. Orlando has just as many power forwards as we do, but Orlando is a better built and coached team. But guess what? If they want to trade their power forwards right now, they get first-round picks. The Knicks get cash consideration or hung up on every time they call because they didn't coach them well. If you don't make the player look good or the player aren't good from get-go, they're not going to be traded, or it doesn't make sense that you keep them. They had ideas of trading these guys by the end of the deadline.
Mic drop.
Let me just respond real quick, okay?
Real quick, 30 seconds. 30 seconds or less, because I got to get to this phone call.
So listen, like, you guys are really trying to help the front. It sounds like you guys are trying to make the front office save face here.
Nope.
After what they did.
No,
let me finish. Can I get my 30 seconds? Can I get my 30 seconds?
Go ahead.
Can I get my 30 seconds? We made all this cap space to try to sign these 2 guys. We didn't get them. Okay, fine. I get that there was a backup plan that needed to be put in place. But the thing is, I'm not saying the players that we got were bad. There were some pretty decent pieces. They can play. But the roster as a whole together was not balanced. It was an unbalanced roster. So now you're telling me, now you're acting like this roster was supposed to be something? This roster, no other team in the NBA thought that about the Knicks. Everyone knew the Knicks were going to be bad this year when they didn't get KD and Kyrie. Everyone knew that.
I didn't take that.
That's not the argument, Josh.
That's not the argument, Josh. That's not the argument. Okay, let me get to the phone call. Let me get to the phone call. Because, you know, that really is.
That wasn't the argument.
It was about the strategy that they had in mind. You can have a strategy, but then, you know, like Mark kept on saying, you know, they were just picking guys, this, that, and the other thing, which I disagree. You know what I'm saying? It was a strategy. Was it executed well? That's another story. But there was a strategy behind it. One part of it was at least executed so that they could get out of contracts. The other part, as far as making the pieces fit together, probably wasn't executed well.
But that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Coming from with that.
But what I'm saying, but there was a strategy behind what they were trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And from the beginning of the season, a lot of people were down with the strategy. Then all of a sudden, you know, turn about face and want to smack everybody in the face. For a call to you live, what's popping?
Yo, Black, it's time. Shout out to the chat.
T-Crow, what's popping with you, brother?
What's going on, Tony Crow?
What's up with you, man?
I got a lot to say right now.
Hey, Tony, before you even go, you guys are giving these listeners a headache. I guess I'm part of it, but I'm gonna blame it on you guys. Who was it? Raw, Rembrandt, Hebrew. He said every time he comes here, he leaves out of here with a headache. Cause we start beefing. Cause we can't agree on nothing.
No, it's Mark's fault.
We got a lot of opinions, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey,
I love you, Kevin.
Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead, Tony.
First off, I agree with Evergreen. You know, a lot of these guys need these mentors. I think mentors are undervalued throughout the NBA. And a lot of what he said I definitely agree with. But I want to shoot bail to a lot of I'm gonna shoot a lot of bail right now. I'm gonna start with Fizdale in the sense that I think he didn't get to get usage of point guards. Like, we didn't have an adequate point guard. If you notice, when Peyton actually came back is when we actually started to win some of these games. So I think Peyton just being adequate was the biggest change in our winning. And then I'll give Mike Miller credit as well. But with Fizdale, the reason I was so upset and hopefully this is the end of this pattern of hiring coaches and letting them go before their contracts. I think we're paying like 4 coaches right now. Like, that's ridiculous. So, none of our players actually got a chance to actually get a full breakdown of a coach's strategy and system. Like, some of these players had 3 coaches in 2 years, 2 coaches in 1 year, four coaches in, it's ridiculous. So hopefully the stability, or we'll have some stability with the front office now, and that'll change a lot of the things as far as building for the future. I think that's number one. The next person I want to shoot some bail to is Julius Randle. Like, you mentioned it one of the last shows. I've been talking about this amongst my friends and co-workers that we talk next about. And, like you said, that contract, that's not a bad contract. He's paid as a third option, maybe even a fourth option. Mm-hmm. He just so happens to have to be the first option, or thought he did. This is the first year in his career that he actually regressed. And maybe you take into consideration that he was under a role that he's never been in before. Maybe you take into consideration the front office and just New York as a whole and all the things you got to deal with in New York. Basically what I'm saying is lay off for Julius a little bit. Give the boy some chance. Quick question: Did you check out the clip I sent you with Raphael?
I didn't get a chance yet. But I definitely will.
Can I ask a question?
I actually looked for a little bit, but I think the numbers you had given me the numbers and it didn't line up fully.
Well, it's right when he's about to talk about if you get to the 8th pick. It's right before that.
Okay.
And basically what he said was he was at a private workout with Randall, and he's working on his corner threes. He can't end his drills without hitting 40 out of 50, and so on and so forth. But again, look at this man's stats. Look at his career. He's literally gotten better every single year in almost every single statistical category. Our biggest beef with him is literally one thing: spinning and turning the ball.
Turnover.
I think he got a lot better at that towards the end of the season. I think a disciplinary coach like a Tibbs could do wonders for him. I don't think Mike Miller was in a position to where he could be that disciplinary. Like, again, he wanted to keep the job. He wanted to improve. It wasn't like a free range to just do your job. Real quick, I just forgot to mention, going back to the Fizdale thing, he was doomed when they did that press conference, which again falls back on the front office.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was Dan. That was Dan.
You do not do.
Thank you.
It was. I don't think there was any coming back from that. I think Stephen A. Smith, who I don't like, said if you was gonna do that, you should have just fired him then. Which I agree with. You gave him another 10 days or whatever the case to just play under or try to coach under more pressure. And then the last guy I'm gonna shoot my bells for, RJ Barrett. I think he was definitely snubbed. I want to say he should have 100% been on the second team, and I can argue he should have been on the first team. His deficiencies are well noted. A lot of that falls directly on him. Free throw shooting, which improved throughout the year, but started off very, very bad, like super disappointing. 3-point shooting, again, improved throughout the year. By the end of the season, he was shooting at a very, very good clip. So you take those numbers and you look at the same way you look at his numbers as far as time he had the ball in his hand, and you say it was low in the beginning, it increased at the end. I think his percentages also increased at the end with the more he held the ball, the more he had the ball.
I was actually just looking at that, Tony, and his percentages actually stayed the same. He had the ball in his hand more, but his percentages basically stayed the same.
His free throw shooting definitely increased.
I think his free throw shooting, yes. So I'm looking at these numbers right now. When Marcus Morris left, RJ Barrett played, he went down from 31 minutes to 29 minutes. That's a lot of that is due to Mike Miller, right? And you remember he started kind of, you could see he was getting tired, starting to get tired. He started averaging 15 points per game. He was averaging 13. He averaged 15 points per game, 4 rebounds. This is after Marcus Morris, 2.4 assists. He shot 41.5% from the field. He shot 31.6% from 3. His free throw attempts went up from 4.2 to 5, and his free throw percentage went from 56% to 67.8%. So they definitely went up at the end of the season. But if you remember, in the beginning of the season, he was playing like 35, 36, 38 minutes a game.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of tired him out in the beginning of the season. He was playing mad minutes in the beginning of the season. Crazy minutes.
Hey, Sam.
But
so real quick, just to back to shoot him the bell. Like I look at his numbers and look at it more of an accomplishment of what he overcame, more so as just looking at his numbers straight out.
I hear you.
Because you got to think of what he did with a lot of lack of spacing.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of what he did was in clutter. So, if the floor is spaced out a little bit more, I expect a lot of his numbers to go up. I expect him to draw a lot more free throws. I think he's probably very high in the league as far as like drives to the basket, as far as like how often he goes to the rim. So I expect a lot better numbers with better spacing. And I also think a lot of his assists ended up not being assists because a lot of shots,
because people missing.
Weren't made.
Yeah. But his passing percentage, the amount of times he passed the ball when he had it, were much lower than I expected him to be.
I agree.
Yeah.
I kind of seen it. I think at a certain point he kind of tried to take over. And I think he was kind of successful in it towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
And I'm still on the Mitchell Robinson train. I think my point has been well spoken as far as like the things he does well. You could have a lucrative career doing those things. If he improves at all, it's all just a plus.
Right.
I'm not really concerned with the money, because we don't know what the money is. I mean, people keep talking about not wanting to pay him, and it's not even time to pay him.
We got a while for that. He's on a very team friendly contract for a little while. Yeah. Hey, Tony,
we got to take advantage of that.
No doubt. Hey, Tony, I appreciate you, man.
No doubt.
I know I got a couple other people trying to call in, so I'm going to try to get to them.
No doubt. Hit me up if you're free after.
All right, peace.
All right. Well,
hey, Sam.
Yo.
Sam, I wanted to touch on something right quick before you answer the call, because I got to go, man. But I had to, this thing been burning me, man, when I was sitting here hearing, this is a little off topic, talking about what Kevin Durant had to say about him not wanting to come to New York to be the savior. Hey, I want y'all to listen to this, fellas. All Knicks fans, listen to this. You remember when they start talking about him coming to New York? Why? Because we had the cap space. Brooklyn didn't have no cap space for no 2 max players. It was New York. It was not Brooklyn. Newsflash. It was not Brooklyn. And if we know, and this is some more facts. We know the kid is always in competition with LeBron James. What has LeBron James always avoided? He avoided New York. That's why he wanted to come to New York, because he could come to New York and bring his buddy with him, Kyrie. And if he would have won in New York, that would have put him above LeBron because championship-wise, they were still close to each other with championships. So that talk he tried to talk, but he never considered New York. That was a bold-faced lie, and I would tell him to his face. You heard me?
I feel you, man. I feel you.
That's a mic drop.
Big
That's
Ron,
a real mic drop
I appreciate you, Ron.
All right, man. I wanted to let y'all think.
No
Go back
doubt.
and look at them tapes, man, when all that stuff was going down. Seriously.
I
And you'd
feel
be
you.
like, this dude was lying. We was the only one with cap space in New York.
I feel you.
With 2 players.
No doubt. Hey, appreciate you, Ron.
All right, bro.
All right,
Take it
man.
easy,
Y'all
bro.
stay up.
All right, stay up,
And
bro.
ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies
and gentlemen, before I get to this phone call, I just want to let you know, make sure that you subscribe to the Big Brother Little Brother channel. All right, I put the link in the chat. Subscribe to that channel, Big Brother Little Brother, and it's all about the Knicks, Nets, Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets. You
And
get
Pittsburgh.
it. Big Brother Little Brother.
And Pittsburgh.
No, not Pittsburgh. Not Pittsburgh. No. All right. You get it. Big Brother, Little Brother, right? You get it. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe to that channel right there, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually being broadcast on both channels. It's being broadcast on 3 channels right now. Sportscaster here and on Big Brother, Little Brother. You see the 3BL up there? That's Big Brother, Little Brother. We're about to go over to Sportscaster in a minute and be specifically and only on Sportscaster. But I do want to talk a little bit about these Chris Paul rumors before I get there. But let me answer this call first, and then we'll get to it. Caller, you live. What's popping?
What's good, Sam? How you doing?
I'm
Liz
good.
From Brooklyn.
How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good, man. I just want to say, RJ Barrett, he had a bad shooting percentage and everything, But I want to bring up a point. When KP got here, you know what I mean? And he had a better team. But if you look at his stats and you look at RJ Barrett's stats, they kind of match up outside of the free throw percentage. And maybe the rebounding. But as far as that, they identical. And KP had Melo on his team. They had a little better team, more established. But KP made the first team with identical stats. Now, I knew RJ Barrett was going to struggle, but for you not to put him on the second team is crazy for me. And then that class was better than RJ Barrett's class.
Who was in KP? I don't even remember who was in KP's class, but KP
you had
averaged.
Justin Winslow. You had
it was Towns. It was
Towns. Towns.
Okafor. Hold on.
D'Angelo
Russell. Yep. D'Angelo Russell was in that class.
Right. And then you go to the second team. You have like Moutier and Miles Turner and a few others. I can't think of everybody. But the thing, what I'm saying is even though RJ Barrett kind of struggled with his percentage, it's identical to KP. So why does KP get the first team and RJ Barrett gets snubbed from the second team when they stats is identical?
That's a good question. Let me see. KP averaged 14.3 points, about the same.
Right.
7.3 rebounds, 1.3 assists. He shot 42% from the field and he shot 33% from 3.
Right. So tell me,
that's a point.
KP get all the hoopla and Barrett don't.
And you got a point. You got a point.
Yeah, but big men.
So it gotta be maybe a little bit of media. Maybe be a little bit of the hate. I don't know, but how can this guy? And I love KP. I really do. I hated to see him leave. I know Mark be feeling that. You know what I mean? But they are similar.
Don't bring that up.
Look at the stats.
Nah, no doubt. They definitely similar. Definitely similar.
So when everybody's ragging RJ for his percentage, you could look at the shot percentage, how many points they averaged, they field goal percentage from 2-point range, 3-point range. KP is a big man. He played down low, so obviously he's supposed to get more rebounds. But I do give him the edge of the free throw shooting.
Right, free throw shooting.
Outside of that, you know what I mean? What's the problem? Well, the man can't even make the second team? And you look at that class, it's way better than this one.
It's tough. I don't know. I don't have any answers. The Knicks won 32 games that season. Maybe that's why.
Right. But still, he was on a better team. He had Melo.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't Randall. You know what I mean? He had Melo. They had more bit of a, system going on.
I mean, but that could go to KP's benefit, right? Because he had a little bit better of a team and he had the same stats. But RJ's on a worse team and got the same stats. So
exactly.
Right. But what I'm saying is KP was on a better team and had those same stats. Where if KP was on this team when he was a rookie, maybe he would have averaged 18. Who knows? Yeah. I don't know.
Right.
But so that that could play
All I want to say is you just made my point. Like, even though KP was on a better team with the same stats, and I guess how people might look at it when they got more wins, but they still was a lottery team.
Mm-hmm.
We still ain't making nowhere. You know what I mean? But this guy gets glorified. You know what I mean? And RJ gets thrown under the bus. He can't even make the second. The second team is what's really pissed me off. I can see the first team. All right.
Okay.
And then I look at the same rookies from that class and the one from this one, and it don't add up to me. And then your first caller, he made a point about how many coaches. 3 coaches the first year, 2 coaches the second year. They was going through a lot. You know what I mean? It wasn't no stability in that at all. But that's all I wanted to say, man. Stop throwing RJ under the bus. I knew he wasn't going to do that well, but I know his drive and where he want to go. I know he's going to be a real decent NBA player, if not an all-star. But everybody throwing my man under the bus like he can't make the second team, and then that's a slight, and I'm feeling a certain kind of way about that. When KP had the same stats and he made the first team, and that's it. That's all I wanted to say, bro.
I appreciate you, bro.
Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the Stoop and you and
sir.
I forget his name, but shout out to y'all too. Big up to all three chats.
Yeah, man.
That's all I
appreciate you, bro. Appreciate it.
No doubt.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing with that is that, KP was on a slightly better team and, was able to put up the same stats.
Well, it was those 3 blocks, too. Y'all forgot about that, man. Speaking more context.
But he
actually didn't average 3 blocks that year. It was 1.9 blocks.
1.9, 2?
Yeah, like 2 blocks.
So I mean, judged differently though. Like big men, like when you shoot 33% for a big man, that's great.
Yeah.
RJ is not. We're shooting 33% as a wing. That's not as good. And then also too, there were points in time in the season where people would check in and RJ shooting 27%. So I mean,
so look, just real quick, we'll talk about this quick, and then we're gonna head over to Sportscaster. As a matter of fact, we're gonna just head over there right now. We're gonna head over to Sportscaster, ladies and gentlemen. All right, head over to Sportscaster. We're gonna talk about these Chris Paul trade rumors.
I think it's a dub for us.
All right, Chris Paul trade rumors. I'm putting the link, the Sportscaster link, in the chat right now, and it's also in the description of the video. So make sure that you go ahead and join us over there as we're going to talk about these Chris Paul trade rumors and other trade rumors. Russell Westbrook's name has been thrown out there for somebody.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
I want to keep Russell Westbrook away from the team. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to see that right now. No, I'm not trying to see that with Russell Westbrook. No. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, join us over on Sportscaster, ladies and gentlemen. I just spammed my own chat with the link to Sportscaster. And, join us over there on Sportscaster. We already got a few people in the chat on Sportscaster. We're going to continue this conversation about Chris Paul trade rumors and other trade rumors. All right? I appreciate you guys for being here. And anybody that's on 3BL, I'm also going to get you over to Sportscaster. I'm going to put the link in the chat in 3BL so you guys can join us on Sportscaster. Everybody on YouTube, please join us on Sportscaster. And I'll see you there in just a second. All right, let me get these guys over here. All right.
Very